the Tanah Karo or Karo lands of the North Sumatra and a small part of neighboring Aceh. The Karo lands consist of Karo Regency, Langkat Regency, Dairi, Simalungun, and Deli Serdang Regency. The cloth in Karonese. The woman in Karo is wearing a cloth called Gatip Ampar over her shoulder and silver padung earring. The man is wearing possibly a julu perjongkit or ragi santik as a hip covering. Karo has many cultures. One of them is marriage culture. Traditional wedding procession in Karo begins with Naki, a state where its bride and groom will tell who will be her life companion.
After that, there was Eriska Goal, or it is called Adat Work. Here all the brothers and the sisters gathered to discuss the other stage. Then it was held the imperative work or the traditional wedding party. At this stage, all the close family of the bride and the groom will come to glorify the event that is taking place. And the Karo traditional wedding ceremony continued with mukul, which dinner for the family, while the bride and the groom followed to be together for the second life.
There is a state called Mukihi Tudung, where the bride and groom will be paraded to the bride parents' house. After arriving, the bride and groom will undergo tendering. Here, the bride and groom will eat together in the room provided. The bride and groom will eat together from one plate, which means giving new energy to both of them. Then there is also Mulihi Tudung, the state where the bride will come to take the bride course. The time is about 2 to 4 days after finishing the party.
And the last stage is called Ertak-tak Kerna Biai, which is an evolution of the entire marriage procession that has been undertaken. The new ladies will ask about the cause. If there are any problems that arise, then the bride and the groom's family will solve them. There are also special foods in Karo. The first is called Therese, and Therese are very unique Karo foods, guaranteed not to be found in other areas. This food is made from the grass in the instance of the cows, buffalo, or the goats. But don't worry, the grass is not from a cow's large instance, so it's not grass that will be used as dirt, but the grass comes from a storage bag or cow instance. Grass is the result of a cow's mouth that has been swallowed and will be touched again. The grass is then cooked with spices and the rest of the beef.
Although it sounds disgusting, but it tastes very delicious and also has properties to treat stomach aches. Karo special are only found during traditional celebration or large event.
And now the second is Karo grilled pork. If this one is definitely familiar because of its popularity, this food in several typical Karo restaurants spread throughout Indonesia. Karo grilled pork is usually served with complementary food such as pork soup, mashed sweet potato leaves mixed with grated coconut, processed pork blood, chili sauce, chiwing, and warm white rice. This food is a typical icon of North Sumatra. It's not complete to visit Karoland if you haven't tasted this special dish. This food is usually served as also at the large event. One of them is marriage.
Karonese also has unique dance. First, Pisau Surut dance. Pisau Surut dance is a Karo dance depicting a man who is waiting for the arrival of his lover. The wait is very long and set depicted like a bird. Second, Gundala-Gundala dance. Gundala-Gundala dance is a traditional dance that is still performed by the Karo community in the village of Surabaya. This dance is performed using a wooden mat as the costume. The Gundala dance are performed to bring rain. Third, Baka dance. Baka dance depicts a physic who is healing sick person. This relates to the habits of the Karo people in ancient times who still relied on physics to cure the problem of illness. Fourth, stick dance. Stick dance depicts the belief of our people in the presence of spirits. People still believe in the power of spirits that will bring negative things to human life. This stick dance illustrates how humans who have occult dreams repel spirits. The human use a special stick called the angel stick and the Panawan stick. The last is Dikar dance. Dikar dance is a traditional form of self-defense Karo. The Dikar dance has the characteristic of very slow and gentle movements, but at certain times, this movement will look hard and fast. At this time, the Dikar dance functions more as a means of public entertainment.
Garga House!
Garga House is a wooden house that is inhabited by our friends in Tanah Karo, North Sumatra. Karo traditional house is famous for its unique building techniques and socio-cultural values. Karo traditional house has a construction that does not require connection. And what are the uniqueness of Garga House? First, Karonese traditional house built without using nails. Second, Karonese traditional house is inhabited by 8 families. Third, types of wood that can be used to build may only be of 3 types. 4. High and majestic. 5th, made of palm fiber. In Karo language, first, how to say me inside Karonese, saya. Second, how to say you inside Karonese, kam. Third, how to say mother inside Karonese, nande. Fourth, how to say father inside Karonese, bapa. How to say one inside Karonese, sada. And last, how to say two inside Karonese, dua.
Tobanese culture. Toba Batak tribe is one of the Batak tribe on the province of North Sumatra. Toba Batak tribe encompasses Toba Samosir Regency, Humbang Hasundutan, Samosir, and North Tapanuli Regency. Toba Batak has some cultural uniqueness. The first is customary marriage, and this is the Toba Batak traditional wedding stage. First, Panakan Hata. Panakan Hata is deliver proposals from the man to the woman. Second, Marusip. Marusip is discuss implementation procedures in accordance with customary rules and wishes of the woman. Third, Marhata Sinamot. Marhata Sinamot usually 2 until 3 people bring snacks and drinks. Fourth, Marpudun South. Marpudun South is determining of the date and place of the ceremony. Ulos used and custom determination. Fifth, Unjuk. Unjuk is wedding ceremony that must be held in the woman's yard. And the last is pray. There is also a culture in custom of death. In Bat society, death is identical with party. This is very unique and very typical. In Batak tradition, those who die will get special treatment. Ceremonies of death are classified according to the age and status of the person who died. In Toba Batak society, usually display musical instruments in the form of organ for singing and eat, such as slaughtering animal and drinking. The traditional drink in Batak tribe is tuak. Traditional house in Batak Toba called the Rumah Bolon or Bolon house, rectangular and sometimes inhabited by 5 to 6 families. To enter the home, need to climb stairs situated in the middle of the home, with an odd variety of rooms. If folks wish to go home, Batak Toba had lowered his head so as not to knock on the transverse beam. This implies visitors must respect the pawnbroker. Tortor dance is a traditional dance from Batak tribe in North Sumatra. At ancient times, the art of dancing in Batakland was a main media during the rite, and it still had mystical things. Moreover, the dance was also performed in happy times like harvesting and wedding ceremony. According to history, Tortor dance is used in ritual associated with spirits. The spirit is invoked by walking into the stone statues, which was the symbol of the ancestors. Those statues were then moved like dancing, but with a rhythmic motion. The movement is identical with feet movement, or tiptoe, and head movements. Saksang or sasang is a savory, spicy Indonesian dish from the Batak people. It is made from minced pork or dog meat, or more rarely water buffalo meat, steeped in its blood, coconut milk and spices, including kaffir lime and bay leaves, coriander, shallot, garlic, chili pepper, and Thai pepper, lemongrass, ginger, galangal, turmeric, and andaliman, the fruit of a native syrup similar to Sichuan pepper. Although saksang is widely consumed and familiar within Batak tribes traditions, it is more often associated with Batak Toba. Saksang has special significance to the Bataks. This is the language in Batak Toba. The first is Mauliate, that means thank you. Horas is greeting. Bagak is beautiful. Burngin is night. Mangan is eat. Hudul is sit. And the last is Ramot, that means morning.
Hi guys, we want to explain about Surabaya. The city of Surabaya is the capital of the province of East Java, Indonesia. Surabaya is also the second largest in Indonesia after Jakarta. East Java has the largest area among 6 provinces in Java and has the second largest population in Indonesia after West Java. East Java province is known for having diverse cultures and arts. There are many dance art in East Java that are well known by the people of Indonesia and even the world. Here are 3 traditional dances that are worldwide, one of which is Ponorogo Reog dance. This traditional dance is usually performed in various traditional ceremonies and weddings. The second is Tenggul dance. Tenggul dance is the original traditional dance of Bojonegoro, East Java. The third is Gandung dance. It is a traditional dance from Banyuwangi, which is often performed starting from marriage, wedding, circumcision, 7 dozen, and other official and unofficial events.
And this is a statue in Surabaya. Statue of Sura and Baya, a statue which is the symbol of the city of Surabaya. This statue is in front of the Surabaya Zoo. Consists of 2 animals that inspired the name of the city of Surabaya. Sura as shark and Baya as crocodile. This statue was built in 1988. And Surabaya also has Heroes Monument. Heroes Monument is a monument that marks the city of Surabaya. The height of this monument is 14,15 meters and is in the form of a peleus or inverted nails and has a curve-shaped body and is divided into 11 segments. November 10, 1945, a historic date not only for residents of the city of Surabaya, but also for all Indonesian people. East Java crafts, one of the crafts that still exists today, is a craft from East Java. One of the most famous crafts to the international world, namely batik. One of the unique batik producing provinces is East Java. batik, East Java has more free motif than the typical batik motif of their respective regions. The typical batik of East Java is not bound by the standard of the motif that existed before. This batik acts naturalis, the color that are normally used also appear more.
And this is the traditional house of East Java, is known by the name joglo. The traditional house of East Java, joglo, is known as a pyramid with a very magnificent roof. The term joglo is meant for its big roof by taking a stylish model of a mountain. Joglo in the past was built to show certain social strata or status in society. The majority of joglo houses are owned by aristocrats with the aim of receiving large number of guests. But after experiencing the times, joglo was identified as a traditional house that can be owned by everyone, has its own uniqueness that distinguishes it from other traditional house. One of its uniqueness is dominant home-making materials made of thick wood. The special characteristic of the joglo house are: the first is joglo sinum. Joglo sinum is characterized by 36 pillars and 4 teachers. The concept of this building is a development of joglo saka, which use a terrace. Each peak from all 4 sides is designed to be high and level. The second is joglo pangrawit. Joglo pangrawit has more detailed characteristic than joglo sinum. The yard is wider with more pillars. Joglo pangrawit house has a towering and conical roof with every corner that has pillars. The third is joglo hageng. Joglo hageng has a more complicated concept than joglo pangrawit, where there are more pillars and wider yard. The size of the room is shorter with a balloon roof. This house is usually owned by families who earn more.
And the last but not least, East Java has a special food like pecel, rawon, rujak jinggur, rujak soto, soto lamongan, gado-gado, lontong balap, and pecel tahu tek and lodo ayam.
And these are language in East Java. The first is thank you, is nuhun,